Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, come on now. Coop. All right. Okay. All right, got people already. Austin, how are you? Buff Daddy, thanks for stopping in. Matt P, self, Whale Bat, good day and good day to you as well. Buff Daddy, oh, hey, Gregor, come here. People want to say hi. People want to say hi. Come on, get up here. No, up here. You got. What are you doing? Get up here. Stop messing around. No, don't stop being silly. Hey, see that up here? Fine. Well, Buff Daddy, he's being silly. He says hi, I'm sure, but he's not wanting to cooperate at the moment. Lorik Dax, good afternoon. And you as well, Burrow Knurfin. So what we have today, how many are you? You got 8 watching? Good enough. Okay. Got a couple of packages here today. Rather large ones, actually. This one, I believe I know what is inside, unless there's some surprises, which sometimes happen around here. So, and yes, those of you wondering, I'm gonna go open these, play with whatever's inside, have a good old time, and then we can talk about the Hypnos if you have questions or things, and I want to kind of brag on it a little bit because I think it's pretty neat. Going to be doing an interview with local McDonald's. Ah, right on. Good luck. And Pandemonium. How are you, Chris? And Mike Albert from Nova Scotia. Not going to do any Canadian jokes for you, just because I'm sure you've heard that enough. So, we have packing material and this guy. This was sent by a friend of the channel whose online name escapes me right now, and I don't know if he wants me to be using his given name because, you know, because having your name on the internet. But he approached me and was like, hey, have you ever seen one of these? And I was like, yeah, I saw one of those once. And he's like, could you do anything cool with it? And I said, probably. It's kind of neat looking. And he said, okay, well, I'll send it. And I was like, oh, sweet. So this is a laser tag thingy, but it's got a gargantuan rocket launcher on the bottom. Homely, how are you? Unfortunately, no squeakers today. But no, this is intended for integration type purposes. I'd seen one briefly at Walcomm's house when I was there a year or two ago, whenever it was. I was like, oh, it's that really big thing with the thing on it. And he says, yeah. I was like, okay, that's cool. And that's as far as we went. But it's, is that the fire? Yeah, fire. Okay. So it's got a really big rocket launchery thing that I don't know what the heck size it takes, but we'll have to rebarrel it for something else. And it's just on this. Hello? Oh, that's weird. So you have to. Oh, so you can lock it out? Oh. Okay, so it actually acts as the stock. So the pump is an adjustable stock, which is actually pretty darn brilliant. I mean, we've seen that from people in the past utilizing the like the Raider stock or whatever for a pump, but I've never seen one that actually like locked. So that's kind of cool. Really kind of a special little thing. See if we can get any pressure. Okay, it's got a little in it. Don't know how much pressure it'll take, where the overpressure valve takes over or what. But it's kind of cool because it's got this digital readout here from all the laser stuff. So it's something that could be introduced into a project of sorts. I mean, you could take this whole, you get these kind of cool louvery slot ribs here that you could take almost the whole top here, integrate into something, you know, put it on top of a bit wide for a strife, but a rapid strike or something like that. Just throwing ideas out. Kind of a cool little area here that I don't know what you'd do with, but if you wanted to add some kind of smooth yet decorative detail, then you could. Double-barreled guy. Not sure what the possibilities there are. But I suppose if you wanted to run a dual flywheel setup, because the thing's so darn wide, you could almost fit 2 magwells, 2 flywheel sets, perhaps. You'd have to have one flipped. That'd be interesting. Just kind of brainstorming right here. Like I said, didn't have any plans, but did think it'd be cool to play with this guy. See what chat's doing. Won't make any Upper North American jokes. Gotcha. Way to go, RGB Gamer. Way to step in. David left 3 of those at a Goodwill last week. Ah, well, I mean, I suppose if you're doing a laser tag thing, that would be something, but I don't know if these would really have much benefit to anybody else who wasn't going to hack on them a little bit. So, let's see how that goes. Some pumpery deal on there. Okay, pretty cool, pretty cool. So yeah, don't know as I'm going to immediately start cutting on this, but it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. So this may make some appearances later. We'll wait and see. All right. Oh, where's your writer? Ah. Speak of the devil. And I believe that was you, correct, who sent that over? I'm sorry, I always get people's names mixed up. So next box is a rather long box, a box of the long variety. All the way from... I assume you guys hear me what's in everything. I forgot to do kind of a formal audio check, but I assume if you couldn't hear anything, you'd be like, hey, what the heck's going on? So we're just going to roll with it. Everything else sound okay, lighting look okay. I got new lights for Christmas, which is super neat. My lovely wife got them for me, and I hung them up. So I have a little better lighting all the time, which should be an improvement, especially because I have it over on that side of things where the ugly chair is with all the blasters hung up and stuff. So... This is a box from Zambona. And well, quick story here. I was in chat with Zambona, and he made some comment about wanting to investigate HPA stuff, and the door just swung open. I should close the door so the dog doesn't wander off. Okay. Wanted to investigate HPA, and I made a kind of an offhand joke that I had a bunch of HPA stuff, but I was kind of falling out of favor with it because it just wasn't doing what I needed it to do, And I was like, oh yeah, you know, I've got all this HPA stuff, you know, I could get you. And then he sent me a personal message and was like, so talk to me about this HPA stuff. And so we kind of discussed that a little bit, and he said, well, I got some stuff to trade, and I said, well, that's pretty cool. So we decided to trade stuff. I sent him my tank and regs and the line and the HPA Apollo project, all of its little pieces, with the MJV03 and the XBZ that was in it. Also sent him the Gobzuka tank that had been modified that I was experimenting with. Also sent him 2 pneumatic pistons for converting to semi-automatic, both for the HPA Apollo project and for an Artemis that I did. Was going to be kind of my main, or my eventual goal was to have a semi-automatic HPA powered Artemis, which was going to be great, but I couldn't get the Rival thing to work with HPA, and I really couldn't justify converting a Dart Blaster to HPA because I have no need for anything that powerful around here. So I put it in a box last week, shipped it over to him, and he shipped this. Okay, you guys are just being all silly on chat. Austin, would you use the Orange Mod Works long shot parts for things? I don't know what kind of Orange Mod Works things, or what they would be used for. So I'm not sure I can give you the answer that you're looking for. Alice, how are you? Friendly boxing. It was a bizarre thought. Huh. Okay. So, there we go. So what we have is an Infinus. I believe he bought it to kind of tinker with and review and stuff like that, and he's like, kind of like, it just doesn't do what I need it to do. So, here I have an Infinus that I can play with. And I hadn't really thought much of him, didn't really have any opinion. I was like, Infinus, whatever. Until I saw the guy at Ragnar Oktoberfest, who is the friend of Alex the Wizard, who had one that was all painted up, and it looked fantastic. And I was like, dang, if I had an Infinus, it could be painted, and it could look really cool and be like that. So, this thing is fat. Dang, that thing's fat. I think he sent it with batteries in it, because it's a lot of weight right in the back. But, kind of a thing, ain't it? So we're going to play with that, eventually. So we'll see what happens there. I might just tinker with it. I haven't really paid any attention to mod guides or anything for these either. So, I might have to do some research, and I'm not sure if I'm going to cut this up just because it is so wide. The foregrip is actually like surprisingly comfortable, and so my first thought was looking at it, I'm like, you cut that sucker off, get him out of there, but it's like, oh, that's really nice. That's, huh. So it might change because there's a lot of weight on the stock, so this up front is just kind of hanging out. So perhaps with a rewire and getting the weight out of the back, it might change the balance, and I might want to do something else. I'm not really sure, but I do have an Infinus now, and yeah, we'll see. I need to do some checking on mod guides, see how much potential there is for, or what it takes to separate the circuits and all that, so I don't just burn it up right out of the gate. So, super neat. Thank you very much, Mr. Zombonin. And the next one is, I was kind of mixed on. This is one of those things I was very mixed on. But he said, I have one of these things, and I wasn't too interested. And he said, but it comes with this. And I thought, well, now I'm interested. So what we have is a more or less kitted out swordfish. And yes, I had no good things to say about the swordfish, but this one happens to have a Dr. Snickus cage, which I believe is like a Gen 3 or whatever, the one that isn't quite as awesome, but yet is still, I mean, obviously functional and stuff like that. It just didn't have quite the same cleanliness and fit and finish of the finished product and all that. But it is a 2S, I can't remember what motors he said is in it, but it is missing the top rail, but that's not too difficult to get a hold of. Because swordfish, it's a goofy thing. I'm not really crazy about it, but they do look pretty good with the kit on it. but I didn't like mine enough to justify buying all the kit parts and wiring the thing and building it. But I thought, if I can get one that has cool internals, and it's already got the good stock, and it's got the vector kit and all that stuff, then that saves me all the trouble. Which does mean that I still have a swordfish that still has the original hard pack inside, and hasn't even been... I think I opened it once with a few screws or whatever, but it's still just hanging up, sitting there being all pretty like, hi, I'm a swordfish. That might be a giveaway. What the heck, it's over and above 5,000 now, so I guess I could do a 5,000 subscriber giveaway kind of thing, and if somebody wants a swordfish, then that'd be a good opportunity. Otherwise, it's just going to keep sitting there. So, keep that in mind. But, so yeah, we got this here. It's wired. It appears to be wired with, like, speaker wire, like clear wire, so it's kind of got the cool, clear thing going on. Just for the heck of it. Like I said, I believe he said it was a 2S motor, so we're just going to stick a battery on it real quick and see what kind of noise it makes. Now this battery won't fit, almost, close, but at least it should help us make some noise. It does sound nice. I mean, it's got a very crisp sound to it. That is, I'm going to assume those are Michel 2.0s, because I believe he had originally built the thing for HVZ intentions, and they don't sound quite as perky as Fangs and stuff like that. So, but I do have now the Swordfish with the cool kit stuff, and a Dr. Snickus cage, and that's basically it. It's all still semi-automatic and all that, but, putting kit parts on the Swordfish really does help the crap out of it. So, very nice. So, he is not here, I don't believe. What the heck? Oh, geez, you guys have been crazy. Sorry about that. Trying to catch up on the chat. Greetings from Sweden. Ah, Alexander. How are you? Panda, horribly tempted to gut the pusher out of mine. Infinus, I guess. Would you be interested in an Infinus shell? If you happen to find yourself with an Infinus shell you don't know what else to do with, then I'm sure I could get creative, because I don't really want to cut mine up. But just for the sake of conversation, let's just... It's a really wide shell, at least back here, but the front part isn't any wider, I don't think, than a Rapid Strike, like just right up here. But it just has some cool details, like this section is pretty cool, these are pretty cool, not super duper crazy about the foregrip. It's got potential, it's got some nice broad areas with some kind of generic details and whoop-de-doos, and there could probably be some potential involved here. So, I don't know if that was a joke or not, but why don't you just follow your heart, that's what I do, and we'll see where we go from there. What flywheel cage would you use for HVZ Strife on Fangs? What the heck, I think everybody else was talking about that already, so I'll let everybody else who is far more qualified to answer that. Okay. Busted your knee before New Year's, jumping on crutches and vape. Ah, jeez, man. You gotta be careful with those things. So sorry to hear that. Hope you get feeling better, lickety-split. So, oh, hi. Hi, do you want to say hi to all the nice people? Are you lonely now? So, alright. Welcome along, Bobololo. How are ya? I'm gonna have me in for background noise. Well, I'm sorry. It's not gonna be awful exciting, but we'll see what we can do. Let's try to keep things interesting for Bobo, everybody. So, is there any? First off, let's. I just want to talk about this for a little bit because it makes me smile a lot. Got the Hypnos in yesterday. Played with it a little bit around the house. Haven't done a whole lot with it as far as action. I haven't shot it outside yet because it was getting dark already, and I didn't want to waste any time doing that today because then I'd have to go walk around the backyard, pick up balls, and make my back hurt. So, are there any questions right out of the gate of anybody who's like, what about this, what about that, or whatever, before I start rambling? Because I will ramble and not pay attention to chat, and people will be like, hey, you're supposed to look at chat, and then I don't. Good heavens, Bobololo, $2. Thank you very much, sir. I will save that and put it to good use eventually. Alice, clearly you need a nut collector. Probably wouldn't work so hot because I have really lumpy ground and the grass is long and stuff like that. But if I did end up doing more, well, during the nice months out here, then we host, periodic wars, whether with family or youth group or friends or whatever. There's a whole lot of nerfing going on in the backyard, and usually I just use regular dart blasters because I have lots of darts, lots of blasters, and I didn't have a whole lot of rival rounds or rival blasters. But I acquired a handful through multiple sources, so I have enough. Well, I have a large tote full of rival blasters, got several Atlases, I've got a couple Artemises, got several Apollos, and a couple, what are those things? Helios, stuff like that. And so I have enough that I think I can adequately support running straight rival. I need to get more rounds. I think I still have under 1,000 rounds. But I'm getting close to where I'm confident enough. With rival out here, I'm afraid of lofting stuff up over the fence and losing it. But no, that's kind of the plan for this year, is to do more rivalry stuff outside. In which case, yes, I will have to invest in a weasel or whatever, because yeah, I'm not going to crawl around on my hands and knees picking stuff up. So, what's the Prime like? Let's talk about the Prime. It's a pretty stout Prime. It's not overly difficult, or it doesn't feel like it has a real strong load to it, but it is stronger than, say, the Atlas. I have the Atlas here. Atlas is just a super breeze to Prime. This guy is still pretty stout as far as things go. I mean, it's a higher spring load and all that, like you'd expect. It's not a strong pull. I think the biggest issue with it is the design of the grip itself. It only gives you these two little spots here to hang on to. And so, I don't know, it doesn't really give you a whole lot to actually get a good purchase with. And so when I first picked it up and primed it, it's just kind of like, hey, come back. What are you doing? So you have to actually like kind of pinch up here and get a good prime on it. And even priming forward, there's not a whole lot. I don't know, it's kind of a brick, but it's got nice little slot things on it, so it's kind of a cool decorative looking grip with like fake hardware cast into it. But it's I hope that people are going to step up and design something else to replace it, because it is just kind of the way the Atlas is, and I get the Artemis too, where it's just kind of a tab that sticks down that has a couple holes in it, so you could print whatever the heck you want to have in there. And it'd be nice to have something that had a little more of a flare, kind of to the bottom, so kind of flared down a little bit, had maybe a little more of a pinch point up here. You can kind of wrap fingers around or something, or had more of a protrusion on the bottom you could hook your finger around. Because firing it in the house, then trying to fire it as rapidly as possible, kind of trying to simulate the intensity of the rival or the arena environment and stuff. I was like, my hand was like popping off. It wasn't just like slipping, but like I got to prime it, and like my hand would like just like jump off, and it was like, hey, that's that's not going to be cool. So you really have to have like a death grip on there, or use some of that like grip tape kind of stuff. You know, the adhesive backed aggressive sandpapery stuff, which I don't really like the idea of. But I know as soon as you're out there running around getting all sweaty and gross and stuff, then it's going to be really hard to hang on to. Whereas, well, let's take a minute here. Atlas does have a little bit of a flare down here. Has something you can actually hook your hand around a little bit. It's just, you know, you get a lot more surface area to work with. Really a better designed grip overall. You can't swap it over, which would be super nice, but this here is just kind of like a minimalist, like the designer was like, we need something that the primer thing sticks to, and they're like, okay, and they just modeled like a brick, and then like rounded off a couple corners and called it good. It looks cool, like, as far as from an aesthetic standpoint, it's like, oh, that's really cool, it looks nice. But it don't feel good. I don't want it to feel good. Whereas this guy here is almost overkill. I want kind of a happy medium. Oh. Holy smokes. Sorry, I'm gonna catch up with you in a second. Ah, crap. Panda already left. Well, sorry I missed you when you left. Goodbye, good luck with work and stuff, and maybe we'll catch you some other time. So, oh, hi. Hi, have I been ignoring you? For those of you who are here for the dog toy stream, when this was unboxed, I made the comment that he had the squeaky kind of fish rocket thing that was making all sorts of noise. It doesn't make noise anymore. And this here, I was like, hey, I'm glad you like this toy that doesn't make noise. We did find out that if you squeeze it in just the right spot, it does make a squeaker noise, which made the Krieger dog so darn happy. So, just a quick update. So, there you go. Panda. Accuracy, I haven't had a chance to really do accuracy testing as far as like long range, but at least shooting around the house, it has a lot, you know, good velocity, seems very consistent. Like I said, that's in the living room, so it's really hard to gauge too much, and I think after the stream, or maybe we'll go on a field trip in a little bit, and we'll go outside and shoot around a little bit. But it does seem to be, you know, have a good straight trajectory, whereas like the Artemis, when I bought it, the reason I hate the Artemis so much is because it would have different shots would curl like just wildly, like to one side or up or down or one way or the other. This guy here seems to be pretty good, consistent firing. Thinking about getting one of these. Didn't like that. This is two-shot feature. Not my aesthetic. Okay. Yeah. For those of you who already answered, I'm not going to pay attention because it's a whole lot of things to read through. But yes, it is a single shot. There is like, hi. You can't double load it, and it's actually a really brilliant system. Let's talk about that for a minute. If anyone ever played with an Atlas and opened up an Atlas, it's kind of got this really goofy elevator tube where you have the rounds up here in the magazine and you have the barrel down here. And so you have this little clear trolley that when you prime it, the bolt moves forward out of the way of the trolley, and then it goes whoop and runs up to the top, loads up a couple rounds, then comes back down. Whoops. There we go. Comes back down, and then at the very end of the prime, the bolt seats to the plunger, and you're all good to go. But if you've ever used one of these, rounds tend to get lost, and they'll get like inside and underneath, and it's kind of a mess. And there's a whole lot of moving parts. I actually got a couple of these that are like ripped apart internally because they got a jam, and people just forced the action, and it broke things. This is a much more elegant system. It still has the same plunger down here, barrel down here, magazine up here, but the whole barrel, you prime it back, whoop, the whole thing points up in the air and seats a single round. And then when you prime it down, it just kind of rocks down and there's a really big kind of spongy gasket washer thing that seats this guy to the plunger. And so instead of having a mechanism here and here and here that all have to move independently, you just prime it and it goes bloop and just stands up, takes a round, drops it down, and seats it. So much simpler, much more elegant, much more efficient, just much better overall. I think it'd be hard to jam. Like, I've force-fed it quite a bit The only time it had an issue with jamming was because the magazine didn't fully seat, and that was partially my fault as well. But that's another topic for another time. So yeah, single shot. Up the stock. Yes, it's judging by the pictures, I was a bit skeptical on the length, but it does keep it pretty. It's not like ideal like rifle length, but it is good in the kind of tactical shotgunish. It stays a little more compact. But I was really surprised. Like, I don't know who the heck designed this part, but I imagine they spent a lot of time working on it. But you can be holding it, and you can just reach up with your thumb, push the button, and it kind of swings out of the way. This is incredibly comfortable to use like this way. Just run, like I said, there again, run around the house. I've not had a chance to field test it. I'm going to try to make it to the arena Thursday. But this is all based on last evening running around the house. But it's one of those where I thought, is this going to feel weird, like it's missing the stock? But it's just really comfortable. There again, I used to run the crap out of this and love the Atlas. This feels very natural, very similar. But it's cool because if you're like, I want to use the stock now, you can just flick it with your finger, just like that. And now you're up and running again. So you can just, like I said, bump it, locks out of the way, finger. And in both positions, like the actual latch itself is kind of a burly guy. I mean, that's pretty serious. I mean, it's a large mechanism here and a large surface area to lock into here. So I think you'd actually have to break it to get it to come loose. So it's not just going to come folding out of the way on its own. But again, it's still a piece of cake there. It has kind of a soft latch here where it's not actual, it's kind of a detent that it kind of snaps into. If you like swing it over, it's not going to, it will come away like that, but it's not just going to come on its own. But yet, there again, you can still just kind of, just like that. So the stock is actually beautifully designed. It's all on one side, several joints. It's not just like a single shear pin. You can really wail on this thing, I think, before having issues. It doesn't get in the way of anything. And look at the size of this finger hole. I mean, good grief. Look at something like this, and you have to kind of like, aim to get your finger in there. This guy here, you can just kind of flop your finger around wherever the heck you want. Which is really cool, because I know once my brother was complaining about Nerf guns, because I was like, hey, Nerf guns are cool, and he's like, yeah, but the finger holes are really small. And I had to really think about that and realized, yeah, you got a point. This guy here is just very spacious. So if you have like gargantuan, like giant ham hock fingers, then this might be beneficial for you. I'm way behind on chat. Let me catch up for a second. What foam? Mr. Bertram, how are you? He's redesigned the grip. Yes, this guy here. So whoever wants to work on that, if it's a good design, I would be very interested. So come talk to me. Sometimes I have money. Sambona, crap. Missed you. But we have things. So thank you very much. We'll have to play with those another time. But how are you? I don't think I chatted with you today, Zambona. I'm looking. How long till someone makes a vertical pump grip for the Hypnos? I'm not really sure that'd be comfortable, because it would put this point lower, and I don't really like having the front hand too much lower than the, trigger hand, I guess. So it's going to be kind of a delicate balance for me as far as like if I was to design a grip. It would be something I'd really want to science out a lot, not just be like, I'm just going to take this generic looking grip and stick it on there. Because there's something off. I was playing with it last night, and just the angle, especially shouldered, I just really didn't like the angle. It's almost like my hand wants to come to the side more, so it's like I need more room on the bottom to hang on to, so I can kind of come off the side a little bit more to be more comfortable. And that might be it. I'm not sure. Like I said, something I would like to use a lot, at least right now. I might change my mind entirely on Thursday if I get a chance to use it. But in my heart right now, I say this would be fun to use like crazy, because I prefer this type over like the Apollo. I don't like through the grip magazine thing. It's just very unnatural for me. and I've used the crap out of an Apollo, and I've loved it. But as a general rule, I don't care for that. It isn't like my brain. It simply does not say I'm totally going to reach for the magazine through the grip. This here I can work with, and I'll have to talk about that because I do want to do a video on the Atlas because there's a lot to talk about the Atlas. But hey, all right. So yeah, grip. That could be a good thing. Squeaking. Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, I forget everybody else has dogs too. So, hey, no squeakers for a little bit, okay? No squeakers. Gonna squeak towards Christmas. Papa Goose, enjoy your tacos. Does not like when balls and swords. Okay, I think I lost somebody somewhere. As far as Zambona saying, used years at the local arena. Does not like old balls. Had some loose. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, but hopefully it'll come up a little bit later or something. Ed Scar, how are you? Ed, Ergo. Oh, Zambona, you're already off and running. Okay. Well, hey, thanks for swinging in for a little bit and saying hi. Thank you very much again for the package. I hope mine arrives safely and that you're able to use all or most of the contents. So yeah, have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you later. Okay. Ed, angle of the grip on a foregrip should be related to the length between the pump and stock and length of the user's arms. You know, you can just take your science and no, that's cool. I figured there's probably some kind of thing to it, some kind of rule of thumb of how long things should be and where they should go and stuff like that. But no, sorry. Yeah, I do think, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. Like I said, it looks good, and I like it, but I want it to feel good. That is like my priority for Rival stuff, is it needs to work and feel good. And this isn't quite there. This grip, though, let me tell you, that is nice. It's I don't know, it's really good shape for, as far as, like this guy here, they've spent too much time being like, how could we make it look all sciencey and cool? And that's cool, and it isn't an uncomfortable grip. It just like doesn't give you much room right here. This guy here is much more, I don't know. Someone kinder must have designed this one, because it just feels a whole lot better. Hey, I see that. I see that. Thanks. One cool thing about this is the mag release, which is very reminiscent of a mag release that I designed for this. In fact, there's still a hole here and there on this one. So when I was using this, I was like, it'd be cool if you could just push a lever here. And so I had actually designed a piece that fit up here, that when you push forward, it would bump that guy. But then you still had to, I don't know, I had a bunch of issues, ended up removing it, adding these extended ears, which fixed it as good as it needed to be fixed. But this here would be cool enough, but the fact that you push the button, and there's this little sled that fits in the throat of the magwell, that I remember playing with it. You know, I opened it up and I was like, what the heck is this strange moving piece? And it is just I don't know what else to call it, but it is kind of a sled that when you fit the magazine in, it makes contact right about here and then slides forward. All that piece is to do is to partially eject the magazine, which is super cool. Because I remember when I was first really cranking on the Atlas, I was like, that'd be cool if you could just like push the button and kick a magazine out the back. You know, like I said, I had the piece up here that I was working with that I thought, man, if you could just like push the lever and then just like have the magazine just kind of roll out the back. Because usually at the arena, when I reload, I usually just spit the magazine out, load a new one in, and then group up the one I spent. And so I thought, man, if you could just kick it out the back, shove another one in, and be off and running, that'd be super cool. Well, that's exactly what you can do here. In fact, if you want to be super cool, you could almost run some kind of like shoulder bag kind of thing or a backpack, and just kick this thing off into your backpack, shove a new magazine in, and be off and running. Which is super cool, and it's just a very, very smooth, very fluid reload. Because this guy, the lock is back here, which if the lock was up here like it is on this guy, that would solve so many of the problems of magazine fit. Because I've talked to several people back when the Atlas was still a thing and people were trying to figure it out. I had a ton of work that I did on this with files and stuff like that just to reshape everything. You can kind of see some of the work here that I did, just kind of opening up the throat of the mag well, and especially along here, and I did some work to that guy, reshaped the ramps on the mag release, and reshaped the actual mag release catch itself and the area around here. Just did a bunch of, you know, detail work with files and blades and stuff. This guy here is already pretty much there. It's like, because you don't have to worry about all this area back here, all you need to do is just stab it in the top and you're good to go. Whereas this guy, there's a tab back here which actually helped it hold the magazine down, which helped the catch hold. And so you had to kind of work around him. But it's like if there's a way to modify the Atlas so it used the latch back here, up here, that'd be super cool, but I don't see that really happening. So, you know, what are you gonna do? But, oh crap, I need to catch up again. Where are you guys? You guys are talking a lot. That's great. I always like it when you guys talk. It means you guys are having fun, or I'm being boring. Either way, as long as you guys are enjoying yourselves. Homely wouldn't be a rule of arm as opposed to a rule of thumb. Clever. I'll give you that one. What's my opinion on the Ravonix 360? Some people like it. I've never actually used one that actually worked. I have 2 or 3 that are broken, but I have no opinion on the Ravonix itself, personally, because I've never actually used one that worked correctly. Really hate how big and bulky the shell is overall. Hump is blah. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like it. I've got, I don't know. I like it. I really can't say why. It is interesting that there's this bump here for absolutely no reason, except to give them this place to put this thing, which also doesn't have a purpose, because it's not like a sight kind of thing, because it's like really wide. I mean, that's a wide guy. So it's not like something you can really use over as some kind of like reference point. It's more like a spoiler, but kind of like one of those crappy like early 2000s spoilers for racer kids and their little racer cars. But it's kind of a cool aesthetic thing personally. I mean, it doesn't really detract. I mean, I look at it and I go, oh, that's kind of sporty looking, that's kind of neat. I don't hate it, but it's not like, oh my gosh, it's got that bump on the top that makes it so cool. So I can either take it or leave it. Would be a little more streamlined without that, though. But yet still not be as boxy as the Atlas, which has kind of a charm in itself, being big and boxy. Any other tweaks to it that came to mind? I kind of wish there was a better magwell. Are you talking about this guy or the Atlas? Because I have a whole video worth of stuff to talk about with the Atlas. In fact, like I said, I have a couple more Atlases. I'm considering taking one of those, opening it up, and showing all the stuff that I've done, because I did a whole lot of work inside to make it to where you could front load the magazine easier. Shaved a lot of stuff in the jam door opening just to make room. I think well, a lot of stuff to the plunger itself, you know, tweaking things, tweaking the action where the locks engage that basically helped it seal better and more consistently, which is another thing I need to talk about with this guy. which is the consistency issues that people may or may not have been reporting, because that is not inconsistency on the blaster, it's inconsistency on the user, but it's because the blaster is quirky. But that's okay. So more on that in a second. Yeah, as far as if you're talking about tweaks to the magwell on the Atlas, that's going to be in a whole separate video, which I really need to do, but I've been saying that for almost 2 years. So push me on that one. A redesigned loader could make a huge difference in shell looks. I don't know, like I said, I think I may have said it before you came along. This is a much more elegant mechanism. That said, there's really... Oh, well, yeah, I guess that's why the bump is there. It's a lot better mechanism than this, so I'm pretty happy with that part. It's just a much more smoother, fluid, better overall operation. But I don't know. There again, if you told me, hey, take a magazine with things up here and put them down here, I'd go, ah. So I can't really complain too much. Maybe some grip tape with a pump grip. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about it, and I might do that in the meantime. Like I said, I'll take it to the arena, see how it goes. It might be okay-ish in the meantime, but if it sucks, then I'm going to come home and put some kind of tape on it of some kind, because I'm thinking that's what it's going to be, but I'm going to give it a chance first. The pump grip should have something for the hand to rest on, as well as a slide ankle. Yes, both of those things are things I would like. As far as, like, I will say one of the best pump grips. Hang on a second. Hi. Being a good boy in your chair? That's for being a good boy. Probably one of the most comfortable pump grips I've ever used in my entire life, nerfing, is this one right here, which I really don't care for aesthetically. But I like the fact that you have a finger you can wrap around the front. The rest of the grip, you know, I can kind of take it or leave it or whatever. But the fact that it gives you the thing to put your finger on right there, and a lot of the load is dealt with right there. Everybody else is kind of along for the ride for support, being like, you got this, pointer finger, good job. But it's one of those where I'd seen a lot of people using them, and I was like, you know, what the heck, they're on sale. I picked it up just to play with it, and I was like, oh, that's what pump grips are all about. Yeah, boy. So it's almost like, I don't know, is there room to put Picatinny on there? Hang on a second, we're experimenting. Okay, maybe if you just took a piece of Picatinny and stuck on the bottom, and then stuck that kind of guy on there. Is that even lining up? Can you see what's going on? Okay. Huh. Yeah. That's a possible option, or something that at least has that kind of feel to it. I mean, I could even handle something a little bit bigger around. I don't need this guy's pretty slim and streamlined, but something with kind of that profile, having, like I said, that finger thing just really does it for me as far as pump grips go. Just really like it, have a nice kind of a broad place, because I still use kind of this palmy area. But no, I do like that aspect. I don't know if you could pull it off and have it look good, because I really don't like the looks of this at all, whatsoever. Hate the looks of it, but if I just use it and close my eyes, and then open my eyes to shoot people and stuff. But as far as like operating it, love it. So if we can kind of work with that, that would be just swell. Okay. Maybe it's just detail. Big and Hypnos, yes sir. Something goes behind your hand as a rest, so your hand doesn't tend to slip off. That too as well. Like I said, this guy here, and what the heck is it? There's another pump grip out there that kind of does that. That just, because you have all this motion this way, but there's nothing that keeps your hand from just going whoop and just coming off. It's like you need some kind of ramp downwards to at least kind of slow your hand down as it, so it, you know, slows down enough to say goodbye as it slips off. Because something there that, yeah, it just kind of hooks down this way. Because look at all that room. You got all the real estate in the world back here to build something up if you want to, and still have plenty of room for a hand. I have kind of dumpy little hands, so if you have like gargantuan weird hands, then you might love that extra space. But I don't know. there's possibilities there. I mean, like I said, just come down here, bring it down a little bit. I don't know, but I do like the idea. Actually, there you go. So you need to add a little material down here for the back of your hand, but then have some kind of little ledge here that you can hook the front end, because there is plenty of room on the front if you had a place to put your finger. I might build something. I might like this enough to build something until somebody in the community can step up and be like, I built a thing for your hands. So that'll be something different. Like I said, I want to give this thing a chance to shine on its own at the arena before I go through and start making judgments based on static testing in the garage. Unpopular opinion, ergonomics is just fleshy linkage design. Numbers on the magazines. Yes, that was... did that a long time ago, back when I was going to the arena like religiously every week. These are just vinyl stickers. These are actually made by the same local outfit that did the acrylic nameplate, the Hellhound. After they did that, then I found out they did the vinyl stuff, and I was like, hey, can you make me some little numbers, but I just need like 2 through 12 a whole bunch of times, and they gave me a weird look. But I liked them because the numbers are small enough to not be cluttery and weird, but yet they're still big enough to read at a glance. And it sounds silly, but especially at the arena, you only have like a minute between rounds, if that, to reload, and you want to make sure your mags are loaded. At the same time, if you keep trying to cram that 13th ball in, you're going to get jams, and it's going to hurt your feelings. And I don't believe in having hurt feelings at the arena. So, oh crap, look out! Hey, why don't you go outside and throw up on something? Thanks. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Why are you throwing things up? Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Leave it on the ground. Yeah, you. Don't look at me like that. What are you doing? Hey. Feel better? Gonna be alright? Ready to come back inside? Okay, if you guys just want to hang out for a second, chat, be nice and civil to each other, we'll be back in just a second. Give me like a minute or two. Okay, happy boy with a happy tummy. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, what the heck were we even talking about? Dog wanted to throw up on things. So, we were talking about numbers, I believe. Gee whiz. Okay, anyway. So yeah, it sounds silly, and some people will be like, why don't you just count them? Well, when I'm shooting people, I don't want to have to count things. And it works especially... I did these when it was just the Apollo and Zeus, and so, you know, the Zeus you could read all the way to the very end, so it sounds silly, but, you know, yeah, you can see when you have 2 shots left, and it's like, okay, I got 2 shots left, instead of having to pop the magazine out, or hope, or sit there and count, because I don't want to count. Also works pretty good for this guy. Because you can see at least down to 4, and you can kind of see here, you know, especially if you're front loading. So, very nice, I do like that. Works on the Apollo and all that, except for the numbers tend to be upside down, but I know what the numbers look like, so it doesn't bother me too bad. But, excuse me, did that on a number of them, and I think I usually run 5 mags, and no more, so I think I have 5 or 6 done. But, yeah, very cool, I do like that. I want to get some more made up, especially since these are getting a little beat up because they've seen some action. So, Broke Nerfing, got a jam. Thanks for stopping by. Bubalo's out of here too. Okay, well, hey, thank you very much, Lolo, who is not here anymore. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciated you taking the time. But the phone, gotta go. Thanks for the stream. Hope to see another one soon. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Devil's Call. Hey, Milan, how are you? How are things over in German land? That works. We still streaming? We still good? Okay. Yeah, titanium is still a good solid to get a better hopper for it. The little stock 8-round hopper just doesn't do it. But I know I always bring mine to the arena because it's so compact and simple and everything. And it's got an Atlas spring, a cut-down Atlas spring. And that thing makes a heck of a racket. It's pretty cool. It really kind of raises eyebrows and makes people duck. Yeah, titanium's a good little blaster. In fact, I need to talk about it too. That's another video, I guess. RGB Gamer, see you, time to play video games. Well, enjoy. That should be hard. Oh, boy. That was awful, yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on the chat. Oh, yeah, Alice. I don't think we were really chatting when I was really doing the hardcore arena thing there at the beginning. But yeah, that's one thing I really like about this. In fact, usually on magazine loadouts for Rival stuff, you know, the Apollo and the Helios and Zeus and all that, I use that dump pouch that I've posted a few times. But this guy was designed to be run as a self-contained package, and it was really, really perfect for the environment we were playing in at the time. In fact, here's my usual loadout for Rival stuff. It's just a 4-mag pouch and a dump pouch just on a cheesy belt. This is all homemade stuff. But the deal was, the Atlas was set up to where it's got a door delete, and I've shaved back a little bit of the area here so that it's easy to, as you're going along, just have a dump pouch with loose rounds and be able to take, you know, just sweep up rounds off the ground and just top it off as you go, so you can take a shot, top it off, take a shot, top it off, and then if you need to, if you're in a kind of a firefight and you have to kick the mag out, you have another one on hand, you can load, stick that guy in there, keep him topped up, and then if you get a break in the action, then you can top up the ones that are in storage. So everybody's all compact. You have 3 magazines ready to go, just that quick. But the idea was to keep topped up as best you could, and not have to rely on, you know, emptying a magazine, swap out a magazine. Be able to just keep it topped up as you go along. And so I would more often than not have, it's either 3 or 4, because you can prime it, and then sometimes I drop another one down the barrel for a 3rd round, which I could do 4 if it was close, and I could kind of volley them a little bit. That's kind of, you know, not even having to look. I could be ducked down behind cover, kind of scoping things out, you know, looking, surveying things, and top off the magazine, and then still have it primed and ready to fire, be loading up, top off the magazine, fire, and be off and running again. Which is an actual loadout video I want to do, because I do think this is a heck of a little package, especially I mean, the Atlas isn't optimized for much, but it did do its job really well. And a lot of times I would go around and be kind of the distractor type guy. That's what back when my dad was coming with me all the time. He was running the Chaos, the Rhino Chaos. So he'd do kind of a suppression a little bit, and that allowed me to kind of work through the arena and pick off people, work to the side, and then mow everybody down on their side of the field. So that was kind of a strategy that we had that worked really well. But that's what I built this blaster for. Worked really good. I want to be able to discuss that in depth. But yeah, the front loading is beautiful. That's one of the main things I liked about this. Okay. Do you plan on running the Hypnos with the mag clipped to the rail? No. Just because of the way I'm going to use this guy, I'm going to be using the dump pouch because it's much more intuitive for me to do that. Just, I don't know. Like I said, I had a kind of a, I don't know, like I could understand just being able to grab that guy and swap that one over, but for whatever reason, it didn't seem as intuitive to me to, oh, it just didn't seem as natural, and I don't like the stock clip things, because you have to be really have to pay attention to grabbing them, otherwise if you twist too much, then they'll fall off, and it's a bummer. And I don't like attaching them on, because they tend to wipe off my cute little labels. So, I do think this one will be running. In fact, I did some tests in the house with this guy and the mag pouch, and it was working really good. I was really happy with it, and I do like having the much smoother profile, especially, you know, just with the way I plan to run this one. I don't know. I had debated on whether or not I wanted to actually attach that, but I suppose, I don't know. Like I said, I don't like the clips that come with the Rival mags. These are narrow base. This is a narrow base in-mag setup that had MOLLE attachments on the back, but I cut them off and bonded the whole darn thing to the side. I don't have enough real estate here. I could probably run a single mag holder, but I don't know if I'd want to do that here. Just like I said, the blaster operates, it just feels different. Like, it's a lot lighter weight blaster. Like, side by side, this guy is a lot heavier. There's a lot more mechanism going on. I don't know what all the difference is. You know, I didn't open them up side by side. It's been a while since I've been in an Atlas. This is very front heavy. This is a very substantial blaster. This guy here is a piece of cake. You can point him, pistol him like nobody's business. So it just everything about the blaster, even though they're so darn similar, they're so different enough still that I think I would still run this guy with a dump pouch and not, you know, burden it down with you know, stuff on the side. Okay. Here again, let's know. Yeah, and homely, the top off thing, you can kind of do it as is, but the door gets in the way. I removed the door, removed a lot of material, actually added some DevCon. This little guy here, which is kind of he pushes out of the way to allow the next rounds. Like, when the tube comes up, it pushes this guy out of the way and allows rounds in. Then when it comes down, it blocks, so the magazine won't keep pushing rounds in. So I added some material to create kind of a ramp so that when you poke rounds in, it just kind of slides out of the way. So it's just a lot of fine-tuning and stuff, but it was just a great little blaster. Like I said, I used this thing more than... I think I've used the Atlas more than any other Rival blaster in the arena. It's just that I haven't been to the arena for, like... I've been going off and on, trying different things. Been playing with Kronos lately, but they moved to a different field that I really didn't like, so it was hard to play. This last time, I actually used the Jupiter last week, and they opened up the old field, and it was just terrific and wonderful and beautiful, and I loved it. And they're wanting to do that more regularly, use the old field, which makes me very happy, and so that kind of changes the whole gameplay of things. So I might actually start bringing the GoPro back to the arena on Rival nights, just because, in fact, it was like one of my third video, I think. I actually had a little video of, actually it was the Atlas. In fact, it was Atlas in action, I think. It was the video, and it showed how quick you can pull off a reload with all the tweaks and stuff that I did here. In fact, I think I highlighted that because it was one of those like out of ammo, boom, switch, boom, backfiring again. I really liked it. I think I've showed how easy it was to just in the course. I didn't actually like showcase it, but it was just like I think I made a comment like, "Hey, I'm front loading and this thing's wonderful." But yeah, the Atlas was like my favorite. It just takes a whole lot of tweaking to make it happy. So yeah, I really need to do that video, and I think having the Hypnos now and having it so darn similar to the Atlas, I think I'm just gonna have to break down and do the Atlas video. So, yeah, it's a winner. I really like it still. Pretty please, Mr. Nathan, sir, can you do the elbow test with Hypnos stock? Yes, I can. In fact, I will remove a sleeve. Actually, I'll just remove half of my coat here so that I can get a nice accurate reading for you so I don't give you any erroneous data. And I did actually test this because I thought about you when I got the Hypnos. I was playing with the stock and I was like, I should probably do the elbow thing to make Ed happy. But it's right about there. I would say that is my elbow. And I would say I'll give it to you in metric because I like you that much. I don't do that for everybody, you know. I don't just give metric to all the girls. I would say 5, yeah, we'll call it 5, 4.5 to 5 centimeters. But at the same time, like if you really stick it in the crook of your elbow, like if I put my elbow perfectly square, then it's like 2 chunky fingers. How's that? But it's still not oddly short. It doesn't feel cramped. It could be longer, but I think if it was any longer, it'd be awkwardly long, especially when you have to reach up to the pump. And I like things compact for the arena just because I don't want to be bouncing the barrel or off anything. That's one thing I loved about the Jupiter last week when I was there, is that you could like literally fly through the air in there and just go through, not having to worry about a long barrel or a stock on anything. You can just sit there and just shoot anybody in the world because of how compact that thing is. So I do like the compact nature of the Jupiter, and like I said, that's kind of why I like this guy out of the way. But it's nice to have options. Integration ideas for the Hypnos. Honestly, my brain doesn't look at Rival stuff. Man, what are you doing? Don't knock my things down. And don't go run and hide. Sorry about that. Dog bringing me toys and knocking my toys over. Sorry. Crap, we're talking about stocks and things. Yeah. No, it's, I don't look at Rival stuff with integration potential because my brain switches to competition mode with Rival stuff. So I really have to like try to think integration with Rival, and it hasn't happened yet. Mostly because the aesthetic is so unique to Rival that I don't really look at it and be like, oh, you could totally take Rapid Strike stock on this, or you could totally take this and put it on whatever. So it's no real ideas yet, because my brain says, how fast can I shoot people in the face with this thing? Standard. You guys talking about shipping stuff? Yeah, Milan, that's stupid what they're doing to you on the shipping deal. I hope you're able to get that worked out because, I mean, I don't know how your shipping compares to everybody else's, but you have really good products, and so I actually still do need to order some more of the mag holders from you. I just need to figure out if I want to do single or double stack. By the way, if you are in a situation where you do want to order from Milan, his mag holder things are just really nice. I still need to do the video for those. I actually do want to do a video on some of your products, like standalone videos. I just have not had the chance yet, but it is one of those things I do want to do. So hold me to it. Yes, Ed. Putting what we just talked about, the pump grip, combined with what we just talked about, the stock, that does sound like a terrific idea. I don't really need to extend the stock personally. Like, I think if it was extended more, it would feel weird because my brain likes compactness and it doesn't want this arm here. It wants this arm kind of back in here. But I also don't like stupid, stubby stocks. But I do want to pull this back a little bit because my arm is being out this far because my wrists are kind of goofy and don't bend all the way the one way they should. But I'm hoping if I can either build or somebody designs something that comes back and takes advantage of that extra space, because you'd want to leave room for the extra bit of travel there to get the last little action out of the loader thing. But you do have a little bit of room to work with, and so that would be, you know, if you could pull it back to here, that would be super neat. All right. Boy, 32 watching. Holy smokes. We're, I don't think we've ever had that many. Well, I appreciate you guys stopping in to say hi and look at things. And if you have any questions, if you're just arriving and you're like, what the heck are you doing? Go ahead and say, what the heck are you doing? And we'll talk about it. Okay. How long have we been doing this? Is anybody watching the time? It won't show me on my device. Does anybody want to say, hey, you've been talking too long, or at least give us kind of a ballpark of what we're looking at time-wise? I would sure appreciate it. Anybody? "17 days. Boy, I tell you what, it sure feels like it, and I apologize. Hey, go ahead. Go sit in your chair. It's okay. It's okay. About an hour. Okie dokie. I think that works okay. Oh, actually, it'll tell me up here. Hour and 12 minutes. Boy. Okay, you guys hanging in there? Do you think there's any potential to convert an Atlas to fire mega darts? Yeah, totally. Actually, as a matter of fact, when it comes to converting the Atlas, there's actually, like I said, I inherited a handful of these. I do want to take at least one or perhaps two and convert them to fire darts, and I've seen one where the guy took, and I'd have to find the article again because I can't remember where it was, but it's on Facebook, where he takes the plunger, puts a elbow on it to a T, and the T comes out here for an inline hopper, or like a style, then goes out that way through the like fake barrel vent barrel tube thing, and just had it just like I said, an RSCB or a hopper, and so the plunger just fires the air through that way. So yeah, you technically, if you could find a suitable barrel material for megas, then you could just do the same kind of thing. You'd only be able to do, you'd have to do the inline hopper RSCB with the ball valve and all that stuff on it. I'm not sure what the specs are for material to barrel or for the hopper for mega stuff. I don't know if that's scienced out somewhere. I'm sure Nerf Haven has stuff like that because that's how they roll, I believe. Or at least did once upon a time. So that would be an option. I don't think you could really convert it to fire megas from the magazine because the actual like bolt chamber isn't long enough for megas, and the barrel itself is not set up for megas either. Not the biggest fan of the Hypnos trigger. I did notice that the trigger looks really small and it's got like holes and stuff in it, but it has a nice feel. Like the rest of these, like this guy here has got like kind of rib notch things in it. Kind of looks like, I don't know, a breadstick or something. But this guy here has a very, very nice contoured edge, and so it's just a very, very comfortable. It's kind of a small guy, kind of short. So if you have like great big fingers, you might not like it. But I've kind of dumpy little fingers, and so it's like perfectly finger sized, and it makes my fingers smile so much. And it's really, really comfortable. It does have the tiniest little bit of a mold line but I just need to take a minute with some sandpaper and a file and just kiss that off right there, and that's going to be just beautiful. Yeah, I'm not sure what to think of the hole in the kind of notch. I don't like the style of that, but it is a very, very comfortable trigger on a very comfortable grip. Just very nice. Lots of nice things going into the Hypnos, which is unfortunate because it gets such a bad rap because so many people didn't like the Atlas because they didn't want to take the time to figure out and massage it into something beautiful. So they say, Atlas is dumb because it won't fit in the little box that I made for it. And so they say, oh, Hypnos, you're like the weird cousin. You're dumb too. That's incorrect. Once you figure out where the Atlas fits and you get it to work the way it's supposed to, because there's a lot of things. There's no lube in the plunger tube at all. When I got mine, I opened it up, bone dry. Just adding, lube in the plunger tube and on the O-rings and all that made a world of difference in consistency and everything. Do the same thing on the seal. The O-ring on the back of the bolt here is slightly undersized. If you put an actual spec-sized one in there, then it seals a whole lot better, gets you more consistent firing, and it's great. Just so many little tweaks. Like I said, I've got a video that I need to do on here, just opening it up and just talking about everything that nobody wanted to deal with because they're like, "What? It only gets 90 FPS? That's dumb. Why does it shoot 2? That's dumb. I want it to only shoot 1." And it's like, don't ask it to do what it's not wanting to do. Help it do what it's already designed to do, and it'll bless you. So many people were dumb, didn't like the Atlas, and then they're like, Hypnos is dumb too because it's the same thing, even though it's not, and some people are dumb and judgmental. But that's a different topic for a different time. Thank you, Alice, for picking that up. I assumed you would, but, thank you for not disappointing me. So yeah, when it really comes down to it, I guess, I still really like the Atlas. Even though I don't know of anybody else who was ever like, the Atlas is pretty cool, or the Atlas has potential, or maybe the Atlas doesn't suck. I don't think I've ever actually seen anybody make that argument. Which I guess is partially my fault because I should have just done the video a long time ago. But I thought, do you really put out a video discussing the good parts about something everybody hates? That doesn't really sound like a popular. But I'm actually going to change. I'm going to give a brief thing here. I'm going to be doing a video in the near future, probably recording it within the week, about a change of pace for the channel, which I know everybody is doing that right now, but that's just what the time of year is. But content is going to be changing a little bit, and it should make everybody happy. I hope. So that's all I'm going to say right now, but the Atlas video does fit into the new framework. So if you have any interest in the Atlas video, then cool. I'm going to push and make that a priority this year. Early this year. I'm going to make it a priority soon. How's that? Boy, bless you guys. 30 of you. Thanks again for stopping in. Do you guys want to, have any other questions about these guys? Or anything in particular? Or do you want to look at the Swordfish or the Infamous or stuff like that? Or do you have any other questions about things? Hour and 20 minutes. Probably don't have a whole lot more battery life left, even though my phone is plugged in, because my phone is dumb. So, make a kind of a final call, I guess, on if anybody has any questions on things. Going to do a New Year's update, but being that I'm not a YouTuber, I'll do it in July. That's an excellent idea, Ed. It's nice to have that reminder mid-year that people can still change. Quantum video. Are you referencing somebody else, or did I promise a quantum video? All right, gonna leave right now, Mr. Nathan. Great video. All of you have a great life. Thank you very much, Isaac. Thanks for stopping by. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Wanted to try to get an Atlas, but I haven't got my mitts on one yet. After seeing what you've done to it, I will actively hunt one down. Okay. I would recommend it. In fact, like I said, if you get an Atlas, then I want you to contact me and be like, dang it, where's my Atlas video? and I will have you weighing on my conscience, and then I'll push the Atlas video out quicker. So I actually was going to do it this last week. I'd really considered doing it, but I got the flu instead, so I guess you can blame the flu on that, because there's a lot of things. I had 3 videos I wanted to record while I was off work for the break, because I had 2 weeks off between Christmas and New Year's, but I got sick and spent the whole last week hating life instead. So that sucks. Oh, Ed, oh, messed up your own joke. I'm really sorry, but the sentiment was good. You still had a really good. That was a good thing you said, even if you don't get quite the laugh value out of it. Quick update on the warthog. I moved it. It was hanging over there, and now it's hanging over there. That is the only update so far. Do want to push on that too, as far as I want to actually focus on finishing more projects instead of starting more projects. But that is another reason for the video that I need to discuss and talk about changes and things. That is all tied together. Unnecessarily optimistic. Well, I've been called worse. Just fishing. Quantum video. Quantum. What the heck's the Quantum? That's the Adventure Force thing. Is that the Hopper Adventure Force one, or is that the, or like the Nemesis type, or is that the more gravity-fed Zeus type? I can't remember. Quantum. That's Dark Zone, right? Ugh, can't remember. You got an Infinus you've been fooling with. I just received an Infinus that I will probably fool with. So that is a new thing. And so yes, that will, Kyle, will be addressing this at some point. Actually, I think it's, like I said, I think it's got batteries in it. So let's, whoa! Ah, gave me a bit of a spook there. Ah, yeah, we're rolling. We might play with this in a minute. Okay. Shook me up. Atlas was still 60 pounds when it reached Toys R Us. Ooh, jeez. Yeah, the Atlas never really got cheap. I think it came down to 20 or 18 around here. Originally marked at 40. I bought one the instant it came out. Like, I was at Target being like, hey, you know this thing you don't have? Can you get it for me? And they're like, fine. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have paid that much if it wasn't for the fact that I wanted one really bad. But like I said, I do have a couple more here that I acquired, and I'm going to do some things with. But no, it's one of those things where if you pick it up at a thrift store, yes, definitely. But I don't think I would pay more than $20, $25 for one. Just as a matter of principle, because I'm really cheap. So my views on values on things are really skewed. So keep that in mind. It's fun to start projects. Great to finish a project. The middle is the rough spot. Yes. Homely, can you put that on a t-shirt for me? Or a mug or something? That is beautiful. That is like... That is me. Adventure Force Nemesis. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. There's a dude at the arena actually had one last week. I think he had it on 2S, if I recall. And was doing some pretty good things with it. Gargungle, hello. Thanks for the chat. Great work as always, Mod Scientist. Thank you. Homely, Red Blue Atlas, thing is selling. Cheap, okay. So yeah, what the heck? Let's. Oh hey, we got a light. Is that green or is that yellow? I can't really tell. Let's put a thing in it and find out. Let's give it some weird rando stuff. So. Oh, that is just beautiful. Hello? Did that load? It didn't sound. It didn't make a loading noise. Did you get stuck? Ah, there we go. You just got bored. Got forgetful. Okay. Asking for someone to design a team congress. You keep forgetting a step, mister. Now, see, now you're being all silly. Okay. Now it's remembering. Okay. Ha! Now, does anyone recall, is this, does it have, like, the overload, like, so it doesn't overload your mags? Does it know about that, or is it just on the, because didn't the 30-round one have some kind of, like, magic sensor, so it knew not to cram too many things in? Have I done 10? This is a 10-round. Forgot. Supposed to finish the job, man. Okay, that made a crunchy noise. Yep. Okay. It does not know when to stop. I think we all have relatives like that. Huh. Okay. Asking for someone to design a decent puck grip for the Hypnos. Yes, that would be fantastic, but I don't think it's something that you could just design, like just drawing on a piece of paper and be like, the Hypnos looks like this, and so a new grip would look like this. It's one of those things where just the geometry and just how the thing fits, it has to really be designed by somebody who has one in hand and says, these are all the things I hate about this grip. Let's go to the computer and see, correct this and make this different and make this better and put this here and move this here and put this thing here instead and make it wonderful and beautiful and spectacular. So, if you happen to get one, let me know. I would love to hash out some ideas with you. And if you can't get one, then that's okay too. Tempting to send you one, but this cost, like, by the time I actually got here, it was almost $55, and I like it a lot, but I don't know if I like it that much. So, if I got a killer deal on one, or if one fell out of the sky and landed in my yard, then I would totally do that. But I'm not in the situation right now where I could purchase another one and then send it overseas. Nothing personally. Finicky, yes, it seems to be. Thrifted a second Inverness. Dang, good job. Ah, Brian. Thank you very much again for the dog toys. They made sure my Christmas was not quiet. And Krager Dog loved them, and he still likes that blue fish rocket thing, whatever it's supposed to be. He likes that one a lot. He'll sit there, he'll be on the couch watching a movie, and he'll bring it over and be like, it doesn't squeak anymore, but it kind of wheezes loudly, and he likes that a lot, because he always shows us how good of a noise he can make with it. So thank you again. Hello, Mr. Hogan. No overload sensor, yes. Gotcha. Learned that. It counts to 30. Okay, is that all? Crap performance, get distracted, and suddenly we're all talking about ergo. Yeah, sorry, Ed, I should have reminded you. Worst case, pick up one at N-War and bring pump grips to rag. Ha! That'd be cool. I'm not going to expect that of you because I'm sure you have other important, cool things to be concerned with for global travel. We'll see how things go. You know what? What the heck? I don't know anything about this, so we're just going to go ahead and put it over the crony. Just cuz. Because it's here. $52. Good job. Okay, well, it seems to top out about 60 or so. Wasn't expecting a whole lot, but I didn't get a whole lot either. So sometimes it's nice to not be surprised. Okay. So it's a thing. Gonna be fun to play with, like I said. Be doing some mod guide lookings and see what it's gonna take to separate the circuits and make that even awesomer without screwing things up. But yeah, stock performance, as you would expect. But it's nice to have that clear the air a little bit. Congratulations on your thorough taco eating, Papa Goose. An RZ Rider. Everybody's coming back. As we're seeing how things go, I'm going to sleep. All right. Well, thanks again, Milan, for stopping by. I know it's probably ridiculous o'clock, but I appreciate you taking time out of your busy German day and seeing how things are over here. So yeah, thanks very much for stopping by, and have a wonderful day. Actually, night. Have a good night. Speaking of ridiculous o'clock, I have to be up in 6 hours. Good heavens, man. You should probably go eat and then, like, lay in bed for a while with your eyes closed. And don't think about things. Because doctors say that you should get 6 hours of sleep because it's good for your health. So, good night, Ed. And thanks again for stopping by. I appreciate it. Taking time out of your weird Brit day, where it's almost like time for bed. Or, yeah, past time for bed. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Oh, what the heck? We got an hour and a half. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll probably put the skids on this little operation here in a second. I said that a minute ago, and I also said if anybody had any kind of last-minute questions or anything before we depart, give you guys a minute or two to say your piece. And I think I'm going to do a little sewing. I have my sewing machine set up over here. And I got some pants all ripped apart, which is what this is made out of. So, actually looking at redesigning, making some changes based on my experiences at the arena, things I wanted to change, but the mag pouch worked really good. But now it's like, you know what, I need to break down and just build something a little bit different. So I'm kind of trying to relearn how to run the sewing machine again, which is how I built the last one. So we'll kind of go from there. But that's probably going to be my evening project, but that's really boring. So I won't punish you guys with that. Take care then when you end the video. Just came partway through. Okay, well, I still appreciate you stopping in, Gargle. Infinites didn't sound like a normal one. Sounds like something's wrong internally. Yeah, we'll sort that one out. It didn't sound too happy, but we'll see. Before you leave. Okay, well, I will, so I can move the thing, I'll unplug the microphone, and we'll take this guy out. Unplug said phone. We will look over and say, hey, everybody wants to say goodbye. Can you wave? You just over there being a good boy? Boy? Uh-huh. Okay. Make sure to tell me if an inspiration strikes with the blaster. Yes, sure thing. You will be the first to know. So, all right. Well, thanks one and all for stopping in and joining me and watching me open some cool things, and for letting me talk about the Hypnos and the Atlas a little bit. You guys have given me the extra, a little boost I needed, because I didn't think that many people would be interested in the Atlas. So, thank you very much, and have a nice, safe evening, one and all. Wishing blue skies and green lights to you and yours, and may all your troubles be teeny-weeny.